not selling her house. But I suspect
Okay,
it's gonna be
ladies and
that.
gentlemen, if I could get your attention, please. Go ahead and get our June council meeting going. We'll have our opening by Sheriff Tyler Hatfield. We'll have our Pledge of Allegiance by Jimmy Hammond and our invocation by Bradley Dye.
All rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for your many blessings, Lord. Thank you for letting us gather here tonight, meet as a community. Lord, be with us as we go through this meeting. Be with us as we leave here, and then make us home safe. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
And Bill never did.
Okay, Mrs. Lacey, if you could do roll call for us.
Peggy Sue Blackburn,
Here.
Shane Taylor,
Yes, ma'am.
Houston Lindsay,
Here.
Douglas Carson,
Here.
John Taylor,
Here.
Greg Gwynn,
Here.
Robert Bracewell,
Here.
Sunny Ray Moorhead,
Here.
Marty Cashin,
Here.
Bradley Dye,
Here.
Harvest Bobo,
Here.
Amy Cashin,
Here.
Dexter Golden,
Here.
Gerald Burnett,
Here.
Jimmy Hammond.
Here.
So we do have a quorum. Okay, you should have received in your packet a copy of the minutes from last month's meeting. We'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Ms. Peggy Sue with a motion and Jimmy with a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay. We do have a few things to add to the agenda. We have Brooke Fanning as notary bond, Jonah Roth Deal notary bond, Megan Arnold notary bond, and Tara Fisher notary bond. Is there a motion to add those to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to add them to the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Robert. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? So as far as I know, we did not have anyone to contact the mayor's office to make public comment tonight, so we'll move right along. To the elections and appointments section that we just added those folks. So we'll talk about Brooke Fanning notary bond, Jonah Ross Deal notary bond, Megan Arnold notary bond, and Tara Fisher notary bond. Is there a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Ms. Peggy Sue with the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Houston, second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right, moving on to new business. This is the first reading of the 26-27 budget. Is there a motion to approve the 26-27 budget? Gerald with the motion. Is there a second? Marty, second. Any discussion?
Is that without the 2 cent raise?
No, ma'am. In your packet, you would have had a tax levy breakdown.
We did move the 2 cents out of capital projects into debt service to cover the cost of the renovation, so it's not in capital projects in the budget, it's in debt service. The 2 cents should cover the amortization schedule for the loan we're gonna have to get for the jail.
Have we ever decided we're gonna get a second?
It'll cover the cost of the jail.
So with this budget, if we just continued on into the future with the reduction in fund balances across the board, assuming that we've got the same percentage increase in property value, or about 2% per year growth, what, do you know, have you projected out what's going to happen?
Well, the fund balance, every year since I've been doing it, so actually going all the way back to 2015, we always estimate the fund balance at one level, and that because we conservatively budget expenditures and revenue both sides, we always wind up with a higher fund balance than we budget. So like, for example, last year, we estimated our fund balance was right at $1 million. And we know from looking at where we're at right now, it's over $2 million. And the fund balance is what we're projecting for this year. So, and that happens every year. I've gone back and looked at the records. That's just the way our budget cycle works. So we aren't really eating into fund balance to do what we're talking about.
So when I look at the numbers from the estimated for this year into next year, all of the fund balances across the board comes up to, I think, 6.3 or 6.5 million. I was playing around leaving the highway department in and out, that's state limits. But we're dropping our fund balance in year over year, assuming the projected numbers, by 2030, we're minus 735 million total. Like we go from about 6.5 million right now, countywide across all departments, down into the negative with the projected.
So there's a lot of moving parts in the fund balance. So, we moved money from one fund to the other fund we had some money in capital projects we moved into the general fund, which absolutely raised our fund balance for this year. If you did everything static and said there were no changes at all, then your analysis might be correct, but that's just not the way it works.
It wasn't completely static. It was assuming the same rate of growth in the thing year over year with the spending that we got. And I know some of it's a lump sum for the mission, but this it doesn't look like long-term planning is where I'll leave that.
Okay. I mean, we've got a fund balance of 2.3 million is what we're projecting for the end of this year. We're only required in the general fund to have 15%, and we're way over that. So, and I won't be here next year to look at it, but I believe it'll be a strong fund balance at the end of the year, next year. So, you just have money coming and going. Expenditures and revenue change over time. So, we have looked at it though, Robert.
And then I guess I've got a question on the search and rescue dogs. Just, do we know annually how much those are costing? Because looking it up, like honestly, I'd rather fund a police drone with infrared, because it seems like that's more effective. Like that's, from my understanding, infrared has done more for finding people.
They
in
have
this
two
county.
dogs.
I know, but there's not a line item for dog food. So, I don't know, Mr. Neal, can offer an insight on the annual cost of those dogs,
I don't know the answer to that.
but
You know,
about
Jason?
15 to 20,000 in the drone, and then some training for drone operators for the sheriff's
Jason, do you know what covers the cost of the dogs?
It's not in Jason's area, right? This is here.
Jason's got one of the dogs, I know.
Does anyone know who's in charge of the dogs? Where do they get them?
I'll say this about dogs and forward-looking infrared. Last year in the very cold of winter, we had a gentleman that was missing for many, many hours at sub-0 degree temperatures. And forward-looking infrared, my night vision scope, drones, and all those things were ineffective. We had finally an airplane found him with their technology. And I believe this weekend, and there's been many other cases in the last year, that those dogs have actually found folks for us pretty quickly. I think one happened yesterday, I believe, or the day before. So, I see like it's a necessary cost.
I don't
Also,
know the
just
answer to that, maybe that's something that we get, going forward. I don't think any of us have it here offhand.
And
but-
that's fine, like I said, I knew that the state's infrared point, but I mean, I guess now we've got a new question. Whose budget handles those dollars?
I was under the impression that Jason got the, money to get the dog. And I asked him a question, who's paying for the food and the vet bill and stuff like that? Maybe it's being paid for by outside service. Do you know? Do you know who's paying for the cost of the dog? Jason Deal.
No, y'all you got a motion to second discussion. I mean, we don't need to go at in full of the budget. The budget is for y'all's discussion right here, so, that needs to be stated.
I think we can, if that's a question we need to get answered, we can get it answered outside of this budget that's on the table right now. Like you said, there's no line item for it, and maybe we'd have to do some research to figure that information out, so let's,
Okay, then I guess I've got another question. We've got $630K additional in TISA funds that are coming in this year. We were told that the massive increase last year was the $400K we're getting yanked from the schools. And we've only got about a $300,000 increase in expenditures, and their total tax revenues are going up just over $110,000. So they're plus $740,000. They're minus $300,000, and their fund balance is still going down. And that's a little inexplicable to me, because they've got more revenue coming in with a smaller increase in their expenditures, and I was just wondering how that came about.
Well, our job as a council is to give the school system the money, not to nitpick their budget. They have a school board that analyzes their budget, and it's not, they didn't ask for any more money from the council. We kept it flat, maintenance of funds, so that's about all we can do.
So our job is just to agree to whatever they ask?
No, our job is to give them the money and let them manage the budget. The council does not manage the school budget.
Why would we approve that?
Because they have to get the money from us. A lot of money has to come from us. Same way with us. We don't tell them how to spend their money. That, Robert, is in the training for a council member. It's one of the main items that they go over about how we are not to go into the board budgets and try to cherry pick items out of it.
We were asked last month what we would suggest cutting to approve the budget.
You can't cut the school budget.
I'm not suggesting we cut the school budget, I'm asking questions about the budget that y'all are attempting to pass.
Okay.
And the response is,
They didn't ask for, here's the response to the school budget. They didn't ask for any more, and we were required to maintain what we gave them. That's what we did.
we're giving them 112,000 additional in local taxes.
We kept the percentage that we give them the same.
So it doesn't matter if in the tax.
They get a percentage of the tax, sales tax, it
They
doesn't
get
matter.
a
That's what
We
the
can't
state
control
mandates
that.
percentage.
We can't control the
That's
percentage.
not
The sales tax, yes, but also the growth in the, like, they're getting an increase in the dollar value from the growth in the.
That's right.
That's right. You're right.
Basically, we let them keep the growth. You're right. So they don't have to come back to us and ask us for every nickel and dime that they might need.
Well, we can't ask questions about it, I guess.
I mean, you can go to the school board meetings when they discuss budget and ask them. You're part of the public. You can go to their school board meetings and ask them when they're discussing their budget.
Some of us have to generate revenue to.
Yeah, we do, that's right. All right, any more questions or discussion about budget, and we're gonna move along. All right, Ms. Lacy, if you could do roll call for us.
Jamie Hammond, Gerald Burnett,
Yes.
Dexter Golden,
Yes.
Amy Cashin,
Yes.
Harvis Bobo,
Yeah.
Bradley Dye,
Yes.
Marty Cashin,
Yes.
Sunny Ray Moorhead,
Yes.
Robert Bracewell,
No.
Greg Gwynn,
Yes.
John Taylor,
Yes.
Douglas Carson,
Yes.
Houston Lindsay,
Yes.
Shane Taylor,
Yes.
Peggy Sue Blackburn.
I'm gonna vote no because we don't have a second bid on the jail. And I think we should.
Okay, so we have 13 yes, 2 no's. First reading passes. We need to discuss when we might have the second reading.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't have my calendar.
The 29th is Monday.
The 29th? June 29th?
So, looking at the calendar, in a couple of weeks, we could have, second reading of this year's budget. Does that interfere with anybody's calendar? June 29th work for most of, or enough to have quorum? June 29th?
What time?
If no objections, well, let's make it in a motion. if you don't
Make a
mind.
motion for the second reading on June 29th at 6:30.
So June 29th, 6:30 here. So motion, you second.
I'll second it.
We already have a second with Bradley. I'm sorry, I didn't say it out loud.
6:30 work, Peggy?
6:30.
Yeah, that's fine.
June 29th.
I'm retired anyway.
Any, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So, just before we proceed, Madam Chair, because this is a vote on the budget, per the Code of Ethics for the Metro Lynchburg, Moore County, Tennessee, that we adopted several years ago, Section 2 says, disclosure of personal interest in voting matters, an official or employee with the responsibility to vote on a measure shall disclose during the meeting at which the vote takes place, before the vote, and to be included in the minutes, any personal interest that affects or that would lead a reasonable person to infer that it affects the individual's vote on the measure. In addition, the official or employee may, to the extent allowed by law, recuse himself or herself from voting on the measure. So I'd suggest, since we had 6 individuals last year that announced that they had a conflict of interest, I don't know if a few of those still exist, but I know that some of them would lead a reasonable person to believe that there's a conflict. So we should probably retake that vote after those individuals make that declaration.
Madam Chair, I'd like to say in my behalf, there's no raise for myself or my department this year, so I don't have a conflict the way I see it.
Okay, so I think since this is being brought up, let's, I don't have the minutes in front of me, but I thought we were doing that last year because we were doing the retirement as part of it, but I could be remembering wrong. I don't think we've done that for every single budget that we've ever done.
This body has not.
So I'm not sure that I agree with your assessment. However, maybe to cover,
You have a county.
everyone's, on self, we can have roll call and have them say, whether they think they have a conflict.
Can we get direction from the county attorney?
I think that might be appropriate since,
I don't know the particulars of what matter might constitute a conflict with this individual situation, but I'm curious, only thing if you do or think you may have, all you have to do is say, I may have a conflict of interest, or I do have a conflict of interest in vote. It's not a individual person to vote.
I think we're all, elected to to make decisions on the basis for our constituents, and we're known to be employees or spouses or other things. So, Ms. Lacy, if you don't mind, we'll do roll call vote and,
I would say
So-
if I was an employee, I would probably just state that I am an employee, could have a conflict of interest.
yeah.
Go ahead and vote. Because you're voting on the entire budget, not specifically for that individual, for that individual's department.
Yes.
And budget as a whole.
So we're re-voting on the budget,
Re-voting
first reading.
on the budget. Yes. I don't, let me just back up and say, we had a motion on the floor for the meeting to be June 29th at 6:30. I don't know that we ever closed that. I apologize. So, we're gonna go ahead and set that, depending on how that goes. So all in favor of a special called meeting on June 29th at 6:30, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, so now we're gonna go back and we're going to re-vote for the first reading of the 26-27 budget and allow you to say anything about a conflict if you want to. If you don't, you simply vote yes or no. Are we clear? Okay, Ms. Lacy, you'll do roll call.
Peggy Sue Blackburn,
Again, I will say no because we do not have a second bid on the jail.
sorry, Shane Taylor,
I'm sorry. Being an employee of Moore County Sheriff's Office, Metro Moore County government, I choose to vote in my own conscience and what I feel is best for my constituents in this matter. I feel I have no conflict of interest, and I vote yes.
Houston Lindsay,
Yes.
Douglas Carson,
Because I'm an employee of the Metro Moore County Sheriff's Office, I may have a conflict of interest with respect to this matter. With respect to the Sheriff Department, which is included in the proposal about to be voted on, However, I declare that my argument and my vote only answer to my conscience and the obligation of my constituents and citizens this body represents. Accordingly, I'll abstain from voting on the appropriation of the sheriff department in this resolution, and vote in favor of the resolution in respect to all other appropriations. My vote is yes. Something funny, Pegasus?
Moving on.
I am talking to you.
John Taylor,
Yes. I think you have.
Greg Gwynn,
Yes.
Robert Bracewell,
No.
Sunny Ray Moorhead,
Yes.
Marty Cashin, Bradley Dye,
Yes.
Harvest Bobo,
Yes.
Amy Cashin,
Yes.
Dexter Golden,
Yes.
Gerald Burnett,
Yes.
Jimmy Hammond.
Yes.
Okay, 13 yeses, 2 nos. First reading passes. We will have second reading on June 29th at 6:30 here at this building.
Will we have a public meeting before that?
I'm sorry, yes. Public hearing, 6:20, before that meeting. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to budget amendments.
Amy,
Yes, sir.
can I say one thing?
Yes.
On this special meeting, it will only be for budget, or budget, and then it can't be for refund. It's only those specific topics.
So budget amendments, you should have received in your packet information about budget amendments.
Motion to approve.
It's like about 10 pages. We'll consider a motion, however you guys want to make it, to talk about budget amendments.
Motion to approve all as is.
Thank you, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. Did you say that earlier?
I was
Okay.
quiet.
Sorry. Okay, so we have a motion to approve the ones in the packet as they are presented by Miss Sunny Ray. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Shane, second. All right, any discussion? If not, we'll do roll call.
Peggy Sue Blackburn,
No.
Shane Taylor,
Yes.
Houston Lindsay,
Yes.
Douglas Carson,
Yes.
John Taylor,
Yes.
Greg Gwynn,
Yes.
Robert Bracewell,
No.
Sunny Ray Moorhead,
Yes.
Marty Cashin,
Yes.
Bradley Dye,
Yes.
Harvest Bobo,
Yes.
Amy Cashin,
Yes.
Dexter Golden,
Yes.
Gerald Burnett,
Yes.
Jimmy Hammond.
Yes.
Okay, 13 yeses, those amendments pass. The ones that were here on the table, Those are different?
You should have had one with just had an add-on for today, or is that what you had?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and there was a revised on the debt service also. Somebody got emailed, somebody played on the table tonight that yes, there was an add-on to the amendment for tonight as well. There may be some more before the end of the month.
That budget amendment that we got tonight was not approved by the budget committee. They would go around and get approved.
Yes.
I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, these were the ones on the table. And they were not, like you said,
The budget committee was not approved, but I don't think there's anything. Make a motion, we approve that add-on budget amendment that we got tonight.
okay, we have a motion to approve the add-ons. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, Ms. Lacy, can you do roll call for us?
Jimmy Hammond, Joe Burnett, Dexter Golden,
Yes.
Amy Cashin,
Yes.
Harvey Bobo,
Yes.
Bradley Guy, Marty Cashin,
Yeah.
Sunny Ray Moorhead,
Yes.
Robert Bracewell, Greg Quinn,
Yes.
John Taylor,
Yes.
Douglas Carson,
Yes.
Houston Lindsay,
Yes.
Shane Taylor,
Yes.
Peggy Sue Blackburn.
No.
14 yeses, so those amendments pass. Okay, moving on to rezoning of map 025, parcel 010 from A1 to R2. Should have received in your packet more information about that particular parcel, Pleasant Hill Road, from A1 to R2, first reading. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Ms. Peggy Sue with the motion. Is there a second? Marty with a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, we will, have a public hearing. I guess we'll do 6:15 for that one, and then we'll have the budget public hearing. I'm sorry. No, we can't, that's right. No, let's do,
Then go to July.
6:20 in July. How about that?
Yeah.
Thank you. 6:20 in July.
That'd be on the 20th, right? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
On the July meeting.
On the 20th.
What, yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
whatever the normal meeting is, yeah. Okay. Moving on to the Frontier Days Square closure for June 26th and 27th.
Make a motion to approve closing.
Douglas with the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Houston, a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Moving on to old business. Rezoning of map 043, parcel 010.01 and 012.01 from A1 to R2. This is second reading. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? Robert, second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay. Now, we'll consider second reading of the jail renovation. Is there a motion to approve? Shane made the motion, and so Bradley with the second. Is there a discussion?
Have we gotten an itemized statement on which bid is? I've asked for it twice, and I've also asked for a second bid several times. Have we gotten any of that?
I asked for it last month as well. I didn't follow up, and I was told by the sheriff that he'd give it to me. But it doesn't appear we're allowed to ask questions about the money.
I'm not sure that's true, but, I think that you can address the mayor if you would like to ask him a question. And then, we can try to get the information that we need or that you are lacking for however you want to vote for it. I don't know what, more to tell you about that.
Can I ask the mayor?
Tyler, he's an elected official.
If you two will send me an
Thank you.
email and request it, I'll get it from the contractor.
I don't have email. I need a hard copy, please,
Okay, well, I'll get a hard copy and you can come up jail and get it.
tonight.
Most likely not tonight.
If we're gonna vote on it, we need it now.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have it in front of me, so.
'Cause
I
I've
can get
priced
you a
out all
hard
this
copy.
stuff.
You send me an email and I'll get it to you.
And the bid is not right. I mean, according to the best of the equipment you can get.
Without an itemized bill, what equipment are you pricing? If you don't know
What
what's
they
in the
said they
bid, then
needed.
how do you know what you're pricing?
What they said they needed.
So, as a builder, you look for those things if you're interested in those jobs. We posted that, and I understand you got somebody, but if I miss the bid, I don't get the bid. It's just the way the world works.
I don't have nobody.
Well, you said you had a card for somebody, so,
I've got several people that's come up to me and said
Well-
they didn't find it listed nowhere, not online, nowhere, and they don't get a newspaper.
well, that's
So-
not this board's fault, or the sheriff's. So,
It should be posted, there should be a
there's
place
a
set
jobs
to
listing
post
that they
things.
put that on, Miss Peggy. I have access to it, and if I want those jobs, I can bid on.
Did
We
you
got
bid on
one,
it?
no ma'am, I can't. Nor will I,
Why can't you?
because I'm an elected official for this
Okay.
county.
I just,
But if I was interested in it in any other place, I would have placed a bid. So
well, I think it
there's a
should be
lot of
put back
stuff.
up for bids.
we've already been through that process. So, but there's a lot of steps that goes through that people have to have background checks to go down and work on this property.
I know
That
that.
takes time and effort.
I've
You
worked for
have-
the state too.
Okay.
As a contractor, I've worked for the state.
Well, that's all I'm gonna say. It's been up for bids. We got one bid,
And I
so
never saw it anywhere.
What are we supposed to
And I knew
do?
it was up for bids, and I never found it anywhere.
I do have a question. How long was the bid let out for? Was it 2 weeks, a month?
I don't have a clue. I'm not on that
Tyler, if you wouldn't mind, could you tell us a little bit more about the bid process?
Yeah, so to give kind of an overview of the whole thing, we worked with OLG Engineering. They drew the plans. Part of the negotiation with them is that they would take care of the bid process, the bid opening, and the management of that. So they placed the bid. The bid ran for a minimum of 2 weeks that I'm aware of. I actually have the physical paper that it was published in for the Moore County News in a folder. And it was also posted on many different construction websites to solicit bids. There was a mandatory pre-bid meeting, inspection meeting. 2 contractors showed up. One was Sabre and one was Lee Adcock. Sabre did not submit a bid. Lee Adcock did submit a bid, and they were the only company that submits a bid. And by our purchasing policy in the county, anything over $25,000 or projected to be over $25,000 has to have architectural design, correct? And then it has to be submitted to an open bid process. Open bid process, we have no control over. That is us publishing it and asking companies to place a bid. We don't go and shop for bids at that point. Whatever bids we receive is what we receive. And in this case, we only received 1 bid. I wish we could have gotten multiple bids, but that was not the case.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Lacy, if you'll do a roll call for us.
Peggy Sue Blackburn,
No.
Shane Taylor,
Yes.
Houston Lindsay,
Yes.
Douglas Carson,
Yes.
John Taylor,
Yes.
Greg Gwynn,
Yes.
Robert Bracewell, Sunny Ray Moorhead,
Yes.
Marty Cashin,
Yes.
Bradley Dye,
Yes.
Harvest Bobo,
Yes.
Amy Cashin,
Yes.
Gerald Burnett,
Yes.
Dexter Golden,
Yes.
Jimmy Hammond.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 14 yeses, so that passes. Okay, moving on.
Madam Chair, first. Did we settle on the amount?
That, I thought that was in the first reading, we said what the amount was
Yeah,
gonna
we
be.
did say it was 987, what's like 1
They gave us several figures that night.
Yeah, we said 983,498 was the total. That was with the $150,000 for appliances. I think that's what the first reading was, so I assume the second reading was to that same amount.
Yes, the number was $833,498, and then a $150,000 allowance for appliances to make the total $983,498.
So basically 985.
Yeah, I mean,
Round figure.
I think
It's not gonna be exact no matter what you do.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not gonna,
Just round it
I
up.
guess
That's what
for
you
said.
purposes of shopping alone. Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah, I gotta have the number to go along with it, you know. That's the reason I was making sure what number to ask. And we did say 12-year capital outlay.
I was gonna
I
try
think,
to look for
I
it.
think,
Yeah.
I don't, Sloan, I think if you can get a better deal for a different time period, I don't think we're dictating that, but I don't think we ought to go any more than 12. But
Well, we go with 12-year capital outlay or 15-year municipal bond. One of the things is the appliances, you start stretching appliances out over 15 years, maybe pay on twice, so they go out. Could still in 12, but, you know, that's one of the things that I would look at, is that you'd be paying again, so there's not a lot of difference between I think the 12-year capital outlay on 1.2 million was like 129,000. 1.2 million on a 15-year bond was 110 or 12,000. That was on 1.2, so there's really not a lot of difference in those 3 years. The bond is a little cheaper on the interest, but it does extend it to 3 more years, so. But I can.
Does that require a vote for that, because we have not
Now,
talked
as long as
about
I got a number that y'all agree on, and that I can do too. Capital outlay or the bond, and then when you come back. But there's a 20-year bond, and that's out. That is released.
Do we need a vote on it, certain 985, or does that matter?
Yeah. I think it would be good to say that that's the number, you know, the dollar amount, then we can look at the two.
wasn't in the, we didn't put it in the motion.
Madam Chair, like a motion for the 985.
I think it sounds like that's what we're talking about, is shopping the loan for that rounded up figure.
Should we go back and vote on the second reading and put 985 in it? What's your number?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we allot $985,000 for the jail system.
So the only thing I'm hesitating about, and I accept your motion, I'm going, does that mean we have to have an additional reading of that?
As long as you amend the first motion, put that number in.
I'll amend,
So we do have a motion and a second, so we can have discussion,
so now we can amend the original second reading motion to add the 985,000 as the number for the shop of the loan.
Does the minutes show that was the first reading?
Are you amending the motion for the reading, or are you amending the original motion? Like last month?
The reading.
It does show.
So
Now
we
we're
need,
gonna start the ball rolling again.
When we approved it last month, we had those numbers. We were given those numbers right before.
See, I think it was in the first reading.
That's what he's saying.
So, Sonny Ray Moore has made a motion to approve the renovation for the jail with an additional allowance of $150,000 for appliances, bringing the amount to $983,498, and Robert Trace will second it.
I know, but what they're saying now is rounding it up to
I think he's fine with
985.
983.
983.
Whatever that number was in the first reading.
983.
It's 983,498.
So we have a motion and a second on the floor to change it to 985.
Then you'd have to have a second reading.
That's what I'm saying is,
I'll withdraw my motion.
Well, yeah, why not leave it where it was and then
Just
if
leave
you
it
need
where
more,
it's
you can come back.
perfect. I mean, I guess. We can withdraw the motion.
Yeah.
Or we can all go around and vote, whichever. So you're withdrawing the motion? Okay. Withdrawn.
Did they withdraw the second?
Okay.
Wait, let me make this. See, I've got to send these minutes in.
I know.
So it is in the first, that dollar amount. Correct.
Yes.
Okay, I've got to have that, make sure, because it has to go in
they request a copy. So that's the reason I'm making sure you
The
have it.
amount
You want to say it?
stands as
$983
in
for you.
the first.
No, I got it, I'll get it later. I just want to make sure that I agree
This
on
round's
that,
nuts.
that number. 'cause I had
Lacey,
sent
and
that
that's what I read a few minutes ago when Lacey told me the minutes,
Last page.
what the
Gotcha.
amount was.
So we don't have to do anything.
No, we're doing.
We're back to level, right? Okay. You guys are making me earn my money tonight.
Yeah, you're doing a great
Well, it's
job.
because you were late.
I know, thank you, I
Great
appreciate
job.
it.
You're gonna be 30 minutes early next time, aren't you?
I doubt it.
You make a lot more than we do.
Okay, are we all ready to move on? All right, so Dexter Golden is going to address the council, I think.
I'm not near as exciting as we've been talking about. So,
Yeah.
Just giving y'all an update at planning and zoning, we have discussed the moratorium on the AI. I know that's a limited time, we're gonna need to come up with something, is that 2 years, Bill, is that correct?
You've got 2 years, you can extend it.
We can't extend it past that?
Yes, sir, but you've got, I don't think it was adopted about 3 or 4 months ago, so you've got around
Correct.
15 more months.
Okay. Just wanna let y'all know, we are actively working on that, having some things, and we want feedback along the way, so every few months, we'll try to give y'all something, and y'all add to it if you want, but, to my understanding, we will need to create an ordinance on this, and that way we have some teeth behind it, so we can use this to, protect our natural resources. But I'm just gonna name a few things that's in it, and y'all can adjust it again. Not to be built on agriculture grounds, so we want to see that go to an industrial use, of course, it wouldn't be like a special exemption. Not to use our natural resources to operate, so like to draw off our, streams, creeks, even the lake, not to like a reoccurring pool on it, not near schools or public areas. Limit the size of the building, which would mean how many generators that they would have on top of it, noise, the decimal level, things of that nature. Not to use our local power source. A lot of places now, they're requiring you that you have solar in place. So that's just a few things, and if y'all want to add to that or questions, ask, and I'll just take it back to planning.
One thing, what is a public area? You talking public parks or densely populated?
Densely populated, but we can, of course, all that's open for discussion. Whatever y'all would like, however y'all would like that to be.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit more clarification right there on what those areas are, and then, just plain language, I understand not drawing water, but you've got, if there's water on a spot and they want to use geothermal for cooling,
Sure.
not limiting
Right.
that.
And some places now, some of these new data centers, what they're doing is they'll take a consumption of water, 200,000 gallons, 400,000 gallons, and they basically try to reuse that. I don't know the details of that, but there's a lot of places, of course, that can't handle the usage. If they didn't reuse that, they draw henceforward. I don't know how much, but it's, each question you ask, you get somebody on here and they make their computer look like a tap. I mean, that takes water. Each question they ask, that is so many drops of water, and they have that broken down to a science, algorithm on that. But yeah, we can get some clarity on the public areas, what that would look like.
I guess if you get public areas, that would be not within city limits. I mean, I guess that would clarify it, right?
Yeah.
We don't have city limits.
So, I mean, like, within our
Urban
schools,
services.
towns, like, how far out do you want to see those, urban services, I see what you're saying.
I just,
Yep.
I'm sure that would be,
You'd almost, I guess, think because we don't have city limits and you've got a handful of subdivisions right next to farms and stuff, that I'm sure those people don't want that built there. And that's the thing, if they got it rezoned as such, so it's not agricultural anymore, are we saying that it can only go on industrial?
My suggestion on that would be an industrial, like put it in the industrial requirements, not an agriculture requirement. That would be the way I would view it. That way you couldn't have a special exemption made. You try to preserve your agriculture grounds. If there was something that popped up, I don't know, I'm just using it as an example, maybe Highway 55 on the other side of the school, we can set how many miles we want to see, or how many feet from the school. You know, something along that area between here and Tullahoma, if it was feasible.
Maybe a buffer between an industrial zone and any sort of residential.
Yeah.
So,
Are you saying that, what did we zone that behind the elementary school? And then it's gonna build the hotel, did we zone that industrial, did we zone that? How did we zone that property?
You talking about the 300 acres Jack wanted to do?
Yeah,
out there?
yeah.
I believe they wanted to go to commercial, that was before I got on, but I think that was the vote, to take it to commercial.
I know you said industrial, that's what I was asking about.
Best I remember it was commercial.
I think we have.
Is it, I believe it was 132 acres.
I mean, I think Christine, some of Jack's is classified as industrial, isn't it, or is it? Some of it is, yeah, I mean, I don't know what portions. So many different ones, but they would be the most comparable to that. But yeah, this is just something we'll try to bring back, every few months. I don't want this to get biased and, the 2 years be up, and we're trying to.
well, and we wouldn't necessarily have to say that all industrial had to have a half-mile buffer zone to a residential. It could be a use case scenario where it's a data center and it's generating X number of decibels, then you got to be this far from.
We could do it under, instead of like a use permit, you could do it under a special exception in industrial and have a little bit more teeth to it, a little bit more backbone on it. Something we talked about, okay. The other thing, we did discuss the cease and desist letter that left here. And the one thing the board added to that was revoking the building permit. I don't think that was on there originally, and we thought we would add that. Is there any discussion on that? We'll try to get that brought back on the next one to get voted on. Okay. We will try to get that added to it. And then the last but not least is the 20-year plan. I know we've discussed that before. If y'all haven't got a copy of it, Christine can get it to you. But that is, coming due, and I know it's a couple of years, but it will be here before you know it. We are trying to start looking at that now closer. I think everybody can agree on the growth that we've had over the last few years to make sure that we are preserving things. And I'll be honest with you, I think some of the things in the book, the people that did it did an excellent job putting thought in it, but I don't think anybody saw the amount of growth that we're going to have over the last few years. So that's something, we need to look at. Do we want to just re-adopt the same verbiage? Do we want to add to this verbiage? This is going to take everybody. I mean, I would say even citizens as well to give input on this. This is something the planning board, we are a recommendation board, so I just don't want us to blindly get to a year out and we need to adopt something by mistake and not know if we need to change things. And I don't know, was there a board that created this, or was it solely just the planning board?
It was planning in 2009.
Planning in 2009, so there wasn't like a secondary board created?
Sure was.
Okay, all right, we'll try to start adding some things in there, or I say adding more discussion with this book. And I would appreciate any help along the way. Some of the things, and I went to the water board meeting and talked to them about it, was adding an aid of construction, just something simple like this on our checklist for a preliminary and a construction. The water department does it, of course, to my understanding, Ronnie, if they don't have that in line, they would want to make sure that was there, but this aid of construction would go on our checklist to make sure that they do have that there. That's something that they couldn't say, we didn't know you had a water department or a water board book. Y'all have certain things they have to abide by. That would be a check we would like to get added to our preliminary list. And I think, Bill, we asked you that. We can add that. Does that need to be voted here to add that to our preliminary check? An aid of construction, if we wanted to require an extra check on our existing checklist now, does that need to be brought here?
I think it would.
Okay.
Amendment adds
Adds to it.
it adds to it.
Okay, we'll work on getting an amendment to that and adding to that. We'll bring that back, but, I've been vocal about the water to several board members, and tough questions to ask, but, you don't know how much. I would like to know how many taps this town has with, the size water treatment plant we have. I've talked to the engineer, I've talked to Ronnie, I've talked to the board. It is a tough number because you don't know your largest customer. what they may grow to. I know that's something we've talked about here, and Ronnie, you stated if Jack were to grow, that could limit us. Just me doing the basic numbers, from what I understand, it looks around 720 taps is where I come to, between talking to the engineer, looking at how many gallons used a day on average, how many customers we have. 720 might sound like a lot, but that could go quick. 1,500, but then you gotta take into account water loss, which y'all can account that, is what you're saying. What I'm understanding from the board, they can account for the 40%, but you can't use it as a gross number. That's how I understand it.
You're saying the 720 is about how many we got left?
We could add, if I'm doing my numbers right, and I would love it.
I misunderstood. I thought you were saying like 7.
We would have
We have to add
available
more
with the
than
treatment plant size we have, the numbers that I'm given from everybody I'm asking, roughly 720 taps would be available right now to key, and that would be at the max. So I don't know, the engineer said you would not want to flirt with that number at all. You would want to stay, stay away from that. But these are things we need to be looking at, as well as our roads. I mean, it's not getting no cheaper to pave. I mean, it's definitely getting more congested. So this is in the plan, but again, I would encourage and ask for help on any of it.
With that aid of construction, adding the water taps on there, is that in order to obtain the building permit?
That would be to make sure the adequate water size line is in place wherever they are building. And then as far as the 720 would be how much our existing plant could treat.
The reason I'm asking is I just want to make sure that we're not preventing someone who plans to use well water from obtaining a building permit because they're not getting water time.
Nothing like that, and yeah, we're just looking at what strain would be on the community for X amount of growth, things of that nature. So, that's just some stuff we've been talking about. Let me keep y'all informed on it. All I have for right now.
Dexter,
Yes.
back to your 20-year plan, it's been a long time. But my memory is that every house is public meetings on that 20-year plan. And one of the things that's probably fixing to come back up is the floodplain.
Okay.
It may be something we want to look into because it's been many years since they've had the floodplain maps. They may not have changed, but it's the 100-year and so forth that goes with this plan as well. That's just something for you to put in your burner.
Is this, will the state contact us before this date, or is this something we have to?
They should, but it's something that might not be a bad idea to check out on, because the last I remember on that was about 2010 on the floodplain stuff. It was, rolled around, but it's something that you might want to look on the next plan to see if it's changed or put the state. Yeah. So just a little food for thought to look into.
Okay. All right. That's great.
Dexter, I haven't seen the plan, but did it cover like school system, buildings, and what all's in there?
It's a whole lot. It gives you the objectives behind the plan, the general development, growth management. I mean, yes, it touches on how we need to look at growth coming in. And there's a lot of things it does. We welcome growth. It's not that. It's just, I don't think in 2009, they probably had the amount of growth coming to Tennessee. We discussed that a few years ago. I mean, I think it's still it might still be the #1 state to move to right now. Yeah, it might be Florida Beach, but I don't know if the population was growing at this pace when this was reached. Yeah, and I think Christine could get anybody a copy of this book. I would encourage you to get it, read it, and give us all the input. We'll start trying to, again, get the public involved. I would like to get water board members involved whenever we, get closer to adopting that. Make sure that we're all on the same page. I know that eventually they'll look at building a new, or adding on to the treatment plant. I don't know what that costs the water user now. It could go up, it could go down. I don't know how that works. That's a question for them. But anyway, just wanted to make sure we were on the same page with it.
All right. Thank you for that update. You should have received in your packet a copy of the building permit report. That's for your information. Are there any other committees that need to make report?
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
If there are no other council member questions or comments that
I've got a
haven't
comment.
been- Sorry?
I've got a comment.
Okay.
I would like to begin saying I was not present at last month's meeting due to work obligations. I also want to take a moment to thank the men and women of the EMS for the phenomenal top-tier service they provide to this community day in and day out. Last month, Major General Lynn spoke highly of the medical professionals who saved his life during the Oak Barrel Half Marathon. Those men and women stepped in and provided exceptional care and ultimately saved a man's life. I can personally speak on the level of care these professionals provide because I have the privilege of working alongside them every day. If anyone wants to understand how fortunate we are to have the EMS professionals in Moore County, I encourage you to ask any local hospital which agency they would prefer to bring in a patient. I believe many of them would tell you Moore County EMS because of the high level of care and professionalism they consistently provide to our citizens. What saddens me, however, is hearing the rhetoric and reading comments from one councilman who appears more concerned with examining the budgetary costs associated with saving a man's life. In my opinion, when a life is saved, the cost should not be the focus. I also do not believe that this type of rhetoric belongs on this board. To suggest that the expenses of emergency care should somehow outweigh the value of human life shows the lack of compassion for an individual whose life was saved. Every life matters. There is no line item in any budget that can truly place a value on someone's life. Nor should there ever be a point where we decide someone is not worth saving because care exceeded a certain cost. I want the citizens of this county to know that the majority of this board values each and every one of you, and we believe every life is worth saving. We support the men and women of the EMS and stand behind the service they provide our community every single day. Speaking for myself, and I believe many others on this board, we do not condone this rhetoric that diminishes the value of human life.
One thing, Madam Chair, there's a difference in price and value. That's it.
Look for, are there any other announcements? Mr. Mayor, do you know of anything? Okay. All right, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.